Hmm. Okay, I'll just tell you, I don't know what this means yet, but I see Trump there, and he's standing under a tree, and it's like Sir Isaac Newton watching the apple fall, except he's not watching it fall. He's just standing underneath a tree as apples hit him in the head, bonk, 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 and I think it shows something about his total lack of curiosity. He's no Newton, but it's also there, like as he it's just like a feeling like, hey, you could move away from under the tree, why are you standing there with these things hitting you again and again? It just reminds me of that, just Trump kind of, it's not exactly like he got lucky. He was just the man for the times, in the sense that there's a whole body of people that are sort of reflecting of those sets of opinions. And he's just the dupe that sort of, or the guy that just took the opportunity, that walked in. But he really is just a one-trick pony. He doesn't know how to do anything other. He doesn't have any policies. It's just Fox News, Fox News, Fox News. So what's he doing with the apples? And he just keeps looking at the apple, and it's just like, well, duh, Donald. That's where the apple's coming from. Bonk. So, Spirit, can you tell me more? Okay, I get it. The apple is just like almost by default that he will be their nominee. It's just that the Republican Party doesn't. It's stupid, but the party doesn't know what else to do other than bigotry and a claim to better economics that some people believe. Then there isn't anything else. There's no policy. And people don't want policy. It's complicated. So some of the people that are voting for Trump, they couldn't care less what the policy is. It's an emotional choice. And they may know that he has no ability to solve any problems in the Middle East, for example. It would be a disaster if Trump were in that role. No hostages would be released today if Trump were in that place. He'd either, forget about it, or he'd jump on the bandwagon with one party or the other, and it would be a disaster. So, but nobody cares about that. The average Republican does not care about that. They are just emotionally linked to this man, and they prefer it. It's simple. It's easy. You don't have to think about anything. Mm. So I feel like it's yes. It's just a yes, It's like, well, who else are you going to choose? No one else is fulfilling this need of conservatives to be always right, and no one else is allowing them to live in a fantasy world where these problems are all somebody else's fault. So they will pick him. It's sort of like a nostalgia thing, You can imagine, everybody thinks back when they were young and life was better, okay, because they didn't have any medical problems, they didn't have any medical bills. Everybody thinks life was better when they were, 21, right? It's just you didn't have anything to worry about for the most part. You've got your whole life ahead of you, and you're not disappointed in your career yet. Nothing's wrong. So everybody just wants to go back to that feeling of when they were in high school, and they were playing football, and they didn't have to think about things. Everything was easy. So that's why they will ultimately go for Trump over people who actually do have some kind of policies. I don't agree with anything Nikki Haley does, but at least she has a policy. She has some kind of a plan, but that's not what they want. And it's interesting, somebody with a policy might actually win over a few centrists, but somebody without a policy won't. And you've probably seen my video on these statistics that are showing Trump as a winner. I don't think that those are valid. So, but it looks like he will be the contester. Let's see. What will sink him? What will sink Donald? Okay, legal stuff will cause him problems. I'm just seeing the scales of justice, and they're heavily weighed in one direction. Let's see, I'm noticing Judge Chutkan, who I've been reading about a little bit today. Um, she looks just like a great person, this judge. And what's happening with her? Why are we seeing Judge Chutkan? Judge Chutkan is looking kind of dissatisfied. And again, the scales are, it's really obvious where these things are going. So I think that I know that there's a lot of issues of, Trump's not supposed to talk. There's a gag order. The gag order now got suspended, which means Trump is saying, really dangerous things about law clerks. And, somebody could get killed here. And I think that's a significant issue for this particular judge. Yeah, that it's almost like to say she's not having it. She won't allow it. Huh. Oh wow, I'm seeing them on a seesaw. Here's Chutkin, here's Trump, and then, of course, Trump is not really thin, so he's heavily weighting this the thing, and Judge Chutkin is way out in the air, but she she does something with the gavel, and it's like kabing, and Trump is sort of thrown into the air. But when he is thrown in the air, he lands in a jail cell. I think there is a real possibility that Trump could go into jail for blabbing, for threatening the witnesses. Keep in mind, if you and I did anything 1% what Trump did, there would be no question, there would be no stays, there's no political consequence to it. Therefore, we wouldn't get the time of day. There's no question we'd be in jail because you shouldn't be able to threaten a witness. Trump is just, again, always finding a loophole where he can do things that would be illegal for you and I. But this judge is not having it. And I think it is playing a significant role in the decisions of all the judges. That, to some degree at least, they are about the law, and the branch of government that they represent is sort of sacred. So they, even if they are more conservative, are not really tolerating the influence of the Republicans on the judiciary to a large degree. Some of them are getting away with murder, but for the most part, this problem is going to be contained. So let's just make sure how, so Judge Chutkan, what will he be put in jail for? Let's see. First of all, I'm not certain about the jail thing. Let's be sure. Well, he does look like he is in jail. Yeah, and I get like something across his mouth. It's like a gag order. And this is really going to be a problem for Trump. If Trump can't attack people, if he can't attack the witnesses, he really has nothing to say because, again, there's no platform. There's, bigotry, there's the wall, but, those are pretty much worn out. He doesn't have that much new to go on. It's just attacks. All right. I wouldn't swear to the fact that he's going to jail, although it does look like he's going to jail, but I would swear to it will work. He will have to stop talking. I get the feeling like it might be one of those things where they put him in jail for the weekend. And he, at the end of it, they're like, look, you blab again, you go to jail. That's that. And we'll just incur the wrath of the Republicans. That's fine. It's not like they're going to be happy democratic, modern people that are going to attack regardless. So, the limit, there has to be a limit on this speech for the sake of the nation. We cannot allow this to happen. So if we allow it to happen with Trump, then anybody can attack a judge. and post their names and addresses and phones. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this peace in the Middle East and how it will affect Biden. I know I'm understanding that when I say peace, I am being a bit optimistic here. I don't know to what degree we'll be able to get any peace in our lifetimes. I'm not saying one way or another. And maybe that's one thing we might reflect on. So, can we know about peace in the Middle East? I'm getting it will be a long time. I think even 50 years before peace really occurs. And I'm also getting that it will occur when both sides are just sick of it. They're just sick of fighting over these stupid, religious, stuff. Religion is supposed to teach you how not to fight each other, and they will finally, just the regular people will just be fed up with the fighting. Mm. But there is a sort of detente. It looks like, as I'm seeing Biden, things look a little bit better. He's smiling. He's honestly the right person for this mission. I know many people will disagree from both left and right, but Biden is a little bit more, teddy bear like, as Lena Rodriguez likes to say. He's kind of more sweet and, less threatening. I think that for both sides in the Middle East, that actually is the best thing, is to come at them with a little bit more like, hey kids, let's sit down and have a chat, kind of thing. A good school teacher who's doing his best, almost like a therapist with an arguing couple. So Biden is just showing me, so he's like, hey, look, let's look to the light. And I think that that's something Biden can do, is get both sides to look more towards the light, more towards what is bright, and instead of what is shadow and clouds. I could just see a cloud sort of breaking up and him just pointing to the light and saying, okay, guys. And I do think that there will be some degree of success in this. I'm just getting him saying this will be tamped down a bit. Yeah, I'm getting some concessions will be made by both sides to make it a little bit better, maybe even a lot better. Biden is saying a bit better, not a lot, not a little, but a bit. Uh, Moving forward, I think this will actually work out well for Biden and the Democrats, because it's clear only someone who has really good diplomatic skills can do anything here in this situation. I have to say, Biden is probably better suited to do this job than most others. Everyone else has skin in the game. They're either for one side or the other, and they won't be an honest broker. You might not necessarily agree with Biden's positions in the Middle East, but understand that on the flip underneath, beyond what we've seen, a lot of work is going on here, and people who are savvy enough to understand the political situation there will know and recognize what Biden has done. And it will be as a new day. A lot of hope here. I hope, again, all of you will just enjoy for a moment a sort of a prayer. Thank you to the universe. The hostages have been returned on both sides. We must send love to those people. Both sides are suffering. There are innocent people on both sides, and there are people who can be persuaded to be a little bit more peaceful on both sides. Join me now and just send that message to the universe that we are opening up for peace and we are doing our best to bring in the light. Thanks so much for watching.